Svalbard tourism is like the secretary office for the tourism board of Svalbard. We have the tourism board have a lot of members, about 60 members, that all from everything from shops to the local board and to other tour operators. And we are like a secretary office for the board, and our main task is to promote Svalbard as a tourism organization, working for the tour operators and promoting Svalbard to the rest of the world. The ultimate goal is to develop a sustainable tourism that both take care of the vulnerable Arctic environment and being able to offer to the tourists what they want to see. It's very hard to make a balance between these two things, because tourism in an Arctic environment, it's a difficult thing, because no matter what you do, you will have an impact on the environment. And the tourists want to see what they want to see. So you have to find a balance between these two things. And that's what we are trying to do. We want to show the world that you can do a lot of fun in an Arctic environment. You can do a lot of fun without hurting the environment so much. And you can do a lot of things in Svalbard without hunting for or trying to find the polar bear. You can't interact with the polar bear. It's against the law in Svalbard to seek for the polar bear, to go out to look for a polar bear, or to in any way approach a polar bear. Because that could be dangerous both for the human and for the polar bear. We have no such thing as a polar bear safari. If you go on a snowmobile trip in the wintertime, maybe you can see a polar bear from a distance. But then the guide will stop you there. You can't go any closer to the polar bear. You're not allowed to. Because after all, he is dangerous, and he is, it's a certain species, and he's protected. And if you want to leave the settlement in Longyearbyen, then you have to carry a gun because of the polar bear danger. If you want to go on a trip, snowmobile or dog sledding, you have to have a guide with you who has a gun. If you want to go on a trip on your own, a hiking trip, then you have to carry a gun. And what you have to do is to, in advance, before you come to Svalbard, you have to contact the governor's office, or the Sysselmann, as it's called in Norwegian, to check out with them the rules, if your permit for a gun is legal in Longyearbyen, if you can use that one, can you bring your own gun. From some countries you can, from some countries you can't. And I don't know how it's about Canada, but in a good time in advance you have to contact the governor's office to check out these things. Because you can't just bring a gun, of course, obviously. And you can't hire a gun or rent a gun in Svalbard anymore. You could earlier, but not anymore. So everything has to go through the governor's office. I think they are very brave. I think it's a great idea, and it's very exciting. They could have ended up anywhere, and I think it's a wonderful idea. And there's a lot of good things that can come out of it. And I think it will be exciting to follow them on the next dart hit. Canada also have a polar bear, and I think that if we can work together to try to make the tourists understand that they have to take care of the polar bear. And you have to do that both in Svalbard and in Canada, because Canada have a lot of polar bears as well, and it's a threatened species. And if you don't take care, the polar bear will die out. And I think that's something we can do together.